Welcome back to Kareem My English, everyone. I am so glad you're here because I was just thinking about this tense right there. You see it? Yeah, the past simple. It's one of the first of many tenses you're going to learn in your English journey, and it can be also one of the easiest. To be completely honest, this tense really isn't that bad. In fact, once you understand the fundamentals, the basic rules, this tense can be pretty easy. By the end of this lesson, you will have mastered the fundamental rules of the past simple, and you'll be able to talk about what you did yesterday, the day before yesterday, last year, with little to no problem. So, without further ado, let's get right into the past simple. Alright, so the big question. How do we form the past simple? Before we actually look into that, we have to understand two things. English, as well as many other languages, have regular verbs and irregular verbs. And to make sure we understand everything correctly, we're going to start with the regular verbs. You see these two beautiful letters? They're madly in love. And when they're together, they create the ending for the past simple. That's right. Regular verbs will take an ending of ed whenever we talk about the past. And that's basically it for the past simple regular verbs. Teacher, I have a question. What about words that already end with e? Do I still put ed? Nice question, Kareem. And to answer it, no. You only need to add d to the end of the word if it already ends with e. Now that that's cleared up, I have a bit of practice for you. Here are two sentences. As you can see, we're missing the verb. I'll give you a couple of seconds. I want you to complete the sentences using the verb in its correct form. Okay, let's check our answers. I'll read the sentence and I want you to repeat after me just for pronunciation practice. Matt and his colleagues worked on their project all day. Nadia wanted to buy a new car, but she decided to wait. Congratulations, you can now make past simple sentences using regular verbs. Now that you're an expert at forming the past simple regular, let's look at irregular verbs. Irregular verbs are a challenge for English learners. Heck, they're even a challenge for native speakers. Irregular verbs are irregular because they don't follow the rules. They're individuals, they're pioneers. They create their own rules and they do what they want. And us as speakers and learners just have to listen. Let's take, for example, the word go. We know to make past simple sentences with regular verbs, we add ed. However, in English, we don't say, I goed. In fact, we say, I went. Throughout your English journey, you're going to encounter many irregular verbs. So it's good to be prepared as best as you can. I have a task for you. I'm going to show you a sentence. Is it correct or incorrect? What do you think? If you said this sentence was incorrect, you are correct. Because in fact, bide is not a word. It's one of those rebellious, individual verbs. The correct way to say buy in the past tense is bought. So how would we say this sentence correctly? That's right. Dan bought flowers for his wife. Let's try one more. I believe you know by now that this sentence is incorrect. And I'm sure you know that the problem is with the word meted. Meets, another one of those rebellious individual verbs. And to say meet in the past is met. So, how can we say this sentence correctly? That's right. Carlos met his friends for lunch. Nice work. We now have an idea of the past simple irregular verbs. Oh, teacher. Yes, Kareem. What's your question? How do we know what verbs are irregular? Again, that's a really good question. And unfortunately, the only way to know if a verb is irregular is to just memorize. There is no rule that shows if a verb is regular or irregular. Unfortunately, in the world of language, there are just some things that are and that cannot be changed. And we, as language learners, just have to accept it. But I will give you a piece of advice. If you're ever just talking to a native and you don't know if the verb is regular or irregular, just use ed. A native speaker will understand what you mean and hopefully politely correct you. However, I don't recommend using this on any type of exam. There you have to be as correct as possible. So we've learned about the past simple, regular and irregular verbs. Now we have to understand why we use the past simple. Teacher, I know. Yes, I know. Kareem. The answer is easy. We use the past simple to talk about the past. Well, yes. We do use the past simple to talk about the past. However, it's not as simple as that. The past simple is used to talk about events or situations that have already happened. And most importantly, these events and situations are complete, meaning they're not in progress, they're finished, done, 100%. Furthermore, past simple allows you to be specific about when something happens. For example, Phil woke up at 10 a.m. The plane departed at 4. We went to the movies yesterday. We won't go into detail now, but this is a very important point when we learn other tenses. So please, right now, don't focus a lot on this. Just focus on being able to construct correct past simple sentences. And speaking of which, I have a bit of practice for you. Here are 6 sentences. I want you to complete each sentence using the verbs that will appear in the box. Pause the video, take your time, and when you're finished, unpause it, and let's check the answers together. Okay, let's check our answers. I want you to repeat after me for pronunciation practice. Jimmy did yoga yesterday. Maria walked to work this morning. Sandy ate pizza for lunch. Jessie spoke with her mom. Joyce drank a lot of water. Mark liked the movie. All right, everyone, how do you feel? I'm sure you're incredibly happy now that you can talk about what you did yesterday, the day before yesterday, even a year ago in English. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button to show me some love. And if you want more English content, I really recommend subscribing because I'll continue to upload more videos to help you become a better English speaker. If you want more English, you can always follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Kareem in My English. All right, everyone, I gotta say, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.